Nice. Right. So making your way, after we moved a little bit, making your way down to the seat we're going to start in today is Vajrasana. So Vajrasana can be either sitting on your heels in a kneeling position. If this feels really easy and comfortable and your spine can stay erect if you're not rounding in the low back. If you are rounding a little bit and you feel hunched over, what you can do to support yourself is placing a block in between your shins, right underneath your seat. And that can be done in multiple ways. You can do it lengthwise. You can change the width, bring it between the ankles possibly, allowing the sit bones and the sacrum to rest on the block. And you may even want more. You may want a few blocks. Another option as well can be putting a blanket in between the shins and the thighs. So play around with that, find a good spot for you, because we're going to be sitting here for a few moments in our meditation and our breath work as I kind of discuss the theme of the class. So if that doesn't work for you at all and it's too painful, you can always just come to Sukhasana, your easy seated pose. Again, if you feel a little bit rounded in the low back in the Sukhasana, grab a pillow, a blanket, and place that up underneath your seat. So just choose what position feels, I would say, easiest, just to begin, where you can feel a lightness in the body, in the spine. You can feel like you can sit up tall and breathe easily. So for me, I'm going to come to just kneeling. I'm going to place my hands on my thighs. So you can join me if you'd like to take a mudra, if you know one. Maybe palms facing towards the sky, thumbs are touching. Any other type of hand position that may feel fun for you. And you can even rest the hands next to the hips if that feels better. And just taking a few moments here to rest and settle into this posture, allowing the hips to be heavy, feeling a slight lift of the heart, the chest, lifting out the crown of the head. Feeling the breath as it moves through the body, belly, the lungs. And today's theme for class that I have been feeling into this week has been silence. So for me, as the busyness of this trip coming back to Maui to pack things has slowly been coming to an end and slowly been settling, I've started to notice myself wanting to rest in the silence more and more, and finding a lot of support through this process of resting in the stillness, the silence between activities, between my thoughts even. That space between the words, that space between the breath. That's what we will really sink into today. And our yin practice is a great practice for that because we will be holding postures for a few minutes at a time. We'll be allowing ourselves to sink into that place beneath the discomfort that we sometimes try and avoid, the awkward space, the awkward silence. It allows us to really rest into that. So as we begin our practice today, I'm going to take a few moments of silence and just sitting here with what we are experiencing. Allowing thoughts to be as they are, but see if you can recognize the space between the thoughts and the sounds you may be hearing. And it's okay if it's not easy at first. This is something that takes practice. Maybe uncomfortable even. As you explore the silence, there's, at least for me, this, how do I explain it? Kind of this vibrant, alive experience between the thoughts and the words and the breath that just starts to pulse a little bit. So it's like I'm actually connecting to an internal rhythm. And then from here, begin to deepen the breath. So let's inhale through the nose together. And exhale with a sigh out your mouth. Go ahead and do a few more of those, inhaling in through your nose and exhaling out the mouth. Again, but this time as we inhale, hold at the top for a few moments. That space between the inhale and exhale. And then exhaling out the mouth. And holding at the bottom. 2 more times on your own. Inhaling, holding the breath for a few moments. And exhaling, holding your breath on the exhale for a few moments. And then when you are ready, on your next inhale, we're going to reach our arms up overhead. So reaching up out of the waist, inhale. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Palms touch. Exhale out the nose this time, Ujjayi breath. Hands come to the heart. Hold the air out of the lungs for 3, 2, 1. Do that again. Inhale, reaching up. Holding for 3, Exhale, hands come to the heart. Air's out for 3. Last time, inhale, reach the arms up. Open the eyes, and then go ahead and exhale out the mouth. Hands to the heart. Pressing the hands and the thumbs to the sternum, palms to each other, and lifting the spine up. And just having a soft, easy gaze out in front of you, whatever's in front of you. We call this focus, this focal point, a drishti in Sanskrit and in the yoga tradition. And as we move through postures, or as our mind moves, we get distracted, we find this drishti, this focal point, if our eyes are open, and even if they're closed. So if you'd like to close your eyes and find a drishti, you can, or you can have your eyes open here. With the intention and the theme of that silence, the space between, maybe you have another intention that you'd like to invite in that's more specific to your life. Then bowing your chin to your chest, gratitude towards yourself, honoring the space tonight, this morning, to really connect to that stillness inside of you, where that internal rhythm, that vibrancy lies beneath, that internal wisdom resides and can be listened to within the silence. Then releasing the hands, bringing the chin up. If you're still okay in this seat, go ahead and hang out a little bit longer. If you need to switch and cross your legs, you can. We're going to go into stretching our arms and our shoulders. So if you need one, and if you have a strap or a towel, go ahead and grab that. First thing we're going to do is inhale and reach the right arm to the sky. And you're just going to bend the elbow and pat yourself on the back, bringing the hand between the shoulder blades. And when you do this, pressing the back of the head into the forearm and reaching up out of the right elbow. First, we'll grab and place our left hand on top of the right elbow and just pull and stretch the right side of the body here. And then if you want to go a little bit further, this is where you might want your towel. You can put it in the right hand. You're going to bring the left palm behind you and grabbing the towel, or if you can grab your fingers, it will look like this. With your fingers grab, or maybe a towel. So your choice. And if this feels really good and if you'd like to go further, you can always lean over the body and relax the spine, forehead to the ground. Resting into the choice of where you'd like to be right now in this posture, closing the eyes and settling and resting into the space between breaths, the space between thoughts. And of course, if that's not working for you today, it's not happening, being kind and gentle with yourself. Sometimes it first just comes with accepting our state before we can move into a place where we can experience that space, that stillness. And one more breath here. If you've leaned over, go ahead and come back up. Release the strap or the towel, release the right hand. Go ahead and sway your arms, crossing right over left, left over right. You may feel some tingling. Good. Now other side. Inhale, reach the left arm up to the sky. Really reach up out of that left hand, bending the left elbow, patting yourself on the back. Also here, pulling the upper ribs in, the belly button to the spine. Try not to dip in the low back. So pulling the belly and the ribs in. Grabbing the left elbow. If you want, leaning over to the right slightly. Keeping the hips heavy and rooted. At any point when you feel discomfort, instead of immediately trying to get out of it, allow yourself to rest in the discomfort just a little bit more. Allow yourself to settle into the awkwardness that you may be feeling and seeing what lies beneath it or within it. If you want to go further, you can reach that right hand up and back and behind you and grab your fingers. If you need to bring in the use of a tool here, a towel or a strap, you can as well. And if you'd like to lean over, that's another option. You may start to feel, or at least I am, a little bit of numbness and tingling in my feet. But I'm just going to stay here with it. I'm going to stay with it. I know that my legs are not in danger at the moment. But if it does feel like it puts yourself in a compromising position that could be dangerous for your body, please listen and shift how you are seated or how you are in this posture. Sending the breath, what we call part of the prana of yoga. The prana is not only the breath, but it is the sensations that you feel, the nervous system, and the blood and the liquid, the pulsing that's moving through the body. Deepening the breath and the awareness of the sensations you may be feeling. And also noticing if you might have a tendency to distract and fantasize and go off in story, and invite yourself back into the body, into the experience, whether it be comfortable or not. And then slowly releasing the pose, taking one last breath, placing the strap or your towel to the side. Once again, swinging the arms, shaking it out. Okay, so next we're going to come on to our booties. And this is where you remove your prop as well before you shift if you have one. I like to put a blanket and fold it up and put it under my booty, my seat, whatever you like to call it. And doing the whole grabbing your booty flesh, pull it behind, getting all cozy on your prop to where your hips are lifted. What we want to do here is we want the lower spine to feel like there's some lift and it's not compressing and rounding. So if you feel compressed and rounded and you don't have props, that's okay. Just check in and remind yourself, hey, maybe at some point this would be helpful to lift so I get more space in my body so then my muscles can start to loosen. Connective tissue can start to unwind. We're going to come into Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet touch. Heels can be close to the groin if you'd like, or they can be farther away, depends on your body, whatever feels best. And this is where we have a couple options. You can either put pillows underneath your knees, which that's my choice right now. Just pillows underneath my knees because it feels really nice. And then in front of you, if you have a bolster, you can always lay a bolster on top of the feet. Maybe put a block on top of the bolster. What we're going to do is we're just going to fold over our legs. So just checking in with the body, seeing what props you need where and what feels most supportive. If folding over is too intense for you right now, you can't always just sit up. This is plenty. So no matter where you're at, finding a pose, either folding over onto the feet. I like to also put a block under my forehead. But you want to come to a place where you feel supported and where there's not too much strain on the body. So for me, I could go like this, but taking it easy, I'm going to actually add another block up. And I can tell it's hard to see there because everything I have right now is black and black. So hopefully you can see that. So go ahead and fold over, forehead on the block, on a prop if you need. And then just begin to settle in. And what I notice sometimes in my body is I may feel like, oh, there's no way that it's gonna let go. But instead of going into that place in your mind, maybe go into a place, oh, what would it feel like if this started to let go? Especially when we have habitual patterns in the body, we're so used to them, we think sometimes they can't change. But if we really allow ourselves to be in that space with our bodies, and we offer our mind and our body another option, then sometimes our body will choose to soften and open in new ways. So explore that with yourself right now. Breathing into the hips, the knees, any area that might need a little bit more awareness and release. What is your relationship with silence? How often do you allow yourself to rest in there, in that space? We have about 30 more seconds here, so really sinking deep into this moment in your body, in the shape. Notice if you can find a little bit more space to open, to breathe into, and to surrender. Take your last deep inhale and exhale here. Relaxing the neck, shaking it out. And then slowly dragging the hands up, rolling up one vertebrae at a time, and coming up gently and lightly. Bringing the hands on the outsides of the knees and slowly bringing the knees towards each other, soles of the feet on the ground. You can keep your blanket or prop where it is. If you need to shift your position on your mat, you can. We're going to go into Dandasana to begin. So straighten the legs out right here, give them a good shake. You might need to reset your seat. And you want the front side of the pelvis on the edge of your blanket. You don't want to have your seat all the way back here. That'll create a rounding in the low back. Pull the hips forward, the anterior tilt of the pelvis. Okay. So from here, first hands next to the hips. Feel the length of the spine. And then from this position, we're just going to bring the right knee in towards the hip. So as close as you can get it. Flexing the left toes, a little bit more engagement here. Grabbing around that right knee and lifting the spine. Feel a slight extension of the tailbone back. And then relax that. And your choice to stay here, or if you'd like a little more, you can bring the right foot on the outside of the left leg, but squeezing the inner thighs together. And then wrapping this left elbow, the eyelet of the left elbow goes into the front side of the right knee. You can stay here. If that's too much, you can bring the hands on the front side of the knee. And then if you'd like a little bit more, we can go into a twist. So bringing this right hand behind the sacrum, so like an extension of your spine, looking forward or looking to the right or all the way behind you. Finding your position and taking a deep breath. With each inhale, feel the lifting of the spine, maybe holding the inhale at the top, and then releasing the energy, the breath, all the way out of the lungs, feeling the hips heavy and rooting into the earth. If you'd like a little bit more in this pose, you can always bend the front leg. So if you'd like to, you can bend this left knee and bringing the left foot on the outside of the right hip. This just gets a little bit deeper if you're a little bit more flexible. But even though this is a yin pose, we still want to feel that lift of the spine, a little bit of a squeezing of the inner thighs, slightly. And then that outside of the right hip, rooting down to the ground as the spine lifts. Inhaling here together. Exhale, slowly release and rotate the torso towards the front. Just taking a moment in the center. And our next posture is going to be shoelace pose, also known as fire logs. So if you're less flexible, you might want to come into easy seated pose, which is Sukhasana. So the right shin is going to be in front of the left. This might be plenty for your hips. If you'd like a little bit more, the bottom leg we want to have parallel, about 90 degrees, and then the right ankle goes on top of the left knee. So this is fire log or shoelace. Your feet can be in different dependent positions depending on your anatomy. So once we come into our shoelace, our fire log pose, toes are flexed, engaging the muscles of the lower leg. And this is where you can bring props. So maybe we put a pillow underneath the right knee for support, or you can also use a block under the knee. Obviously, if you don't have props, just go rogue, it's totally cool. But whatever feels good for your body, find a position where you can be for a few minutes. And it might just be here, in Sukhasana. In this posture, what we're going to do, you might want to stay here or fold over the legs. So find your position where you want to stay for the next couple minutes. I am going to just sit up because this one always gets me. Resting in this awkward pose, maybe for you, maybe this feels really good. What we do by going into these postures that may feel a little bit awkward is our intention is to release habitual patterns of tension. But also activate the mind if you notice, and maybe you don't, but for me at least when I go into these awkward poses, sometimes my mind is more active. Just like in the awkward silence in a conversation, we so oftentimes try to fill that space. But why? What rests in the silence that we are sometimes so desperately trying to avoid? Allowing one more deep breath in here. Slowly coming up if you fold it over the legs. Removing the props if you're using them. Lifting that right leg up and then straightening the legs out. Give them a good shake. Now we're going to go to the other side. Pulling in, bringing that left knee in, giving your left knee a hug. Planting the left sole down. First thing, lift the spine. Stay here or cross the leg over. Lifting up. Again, if you would like to go further, eyelid of the right elbow, front side of the left knee. Left hand goes behind the sacrum, behind the back, like an extension of the spine, so that means it's close to the sacrum. And rotating and looking over the left shoulder. Again, if you'd like a little bit more, you can bring this left foot up and around the outside of the left. Sorry, this is a right foot, up into the outside of the left hip. Either way, once you get this shape that feels like where you want to stay for a few minutes, gentle squeeze between the thighs. A few minutes here. Eyes can be open or closed. Doing your best to rest in the stillness between thoughts and between the breath. And if you can't, that's okay. Just do the best you can. Witnessing the sensations in the body and how it shifts. Taking one more deep breath here in this pose. Go ahead and take the gaze to the front. Find into our shoelace, fire log pose. Adjusting the feet, adjusting the hips as you need. You're coming into the full posture, keeping the toes both flexed. Left ankle's on top of the right knee. It may be a little bit more inward, but doing your best to not let the foot sickle in here right in the crease. Keeping the left toes engaged on top of the right knee is ideal for this posture, and bringing that right foot forward. This doesn't work. Left shin can come in front of the right, just gentle Sukhasana. Maybe the left heel comes on the outside of the right knee. Blocks under the legs, pillows, it's my favorite. Find a position where you can be for a few minutes. Stay spine erect or fold over the legs. Coming into the edge where you feel a little bit of discomfort, where you can rest in a little longer, but not where you feel like you could be hurting your body, or where there's too much pain. So we want to find that nice place where you can allow yourself to sink a little bit deeper. Eyes closed or open, drishti with eyes closed or open. You're having a challenging time with the mind. This is a place where you could bring in some samavriti breath with an equal inhale and exhale. Counting your inhales maybe for 3, 4, or 5 count in, then holding the breath for a count or 2 at the top. And then you can exhale counting 3, 4, 5. Hold the breath. The pranayama, the breath tool, is a practice to help cultivate purity in the body to help the mind soften and relax. Feel intensity rising, taking a deeper breath into the area of tension, settling in. About 15 more seconds, holding this posture, breathing deeper. And then slowly coming back up if you fold it over. Bringing your chest tall. Removing all the props. And this time you're just going to bring the legs out to a straddle. Shake them right here. Actually, you might need a prop now. We're just going to take a moment in our straddle. So you could use props or a bolster or something. You might want to stand tall. And then we're just going to fold over for a couple breaths here, maybe 30, 45 seconds. Doesn't matter how wide your legs are, they can be more like pyramid shape. This is from years of cheerleading gymnastics. They just naturally do this. All of our bodies are different. And we're not trying to force our body into a shape. It's more about the relationship that we have with our bodies in these shapes. And if you've cultivated this silent space, what do you notice in this silence? How do you relate to your body? What you sense when you're in this space? Is it palpable? Slowly walking yourself up. And then placing the hands behind the knees and slowly bringing the knees up. Coming onto the side of the hip, and we're going to make our way down to our backs. And all the way onto the back. Bringing the knees into the chest for a moment. Maybe massaging the back of the hip, just rocking right to left. And then placing the left sole of the foot on the ground, crossing over into a figure four. So the right ankle goes on top of the left knee, right toes are flexed. Staying here or potentially grabbing behind the left hamstring. But the key here is to keep the hips heavy, the shoulders and the neck on the ground. If that doesn't happen with the leg up, then leave the leg down. Going for just a gentle stretch in the hip here. If you'd like a slight bit more, you can always bring the right hand and press the right knee away. Just going to allow and take a few breaths in the space in the figure four. Maybe pulling your left knee closer to the chest. Extending the tailbone away from the head. And then releasing the left foot down, crossing the right knee over the left, like a proper lady sitting in a chair. And then once again, just bring the knees up to the chest and just bringing the hands on the front side of that left knee, pulling the knee in close. If you want to grab your ankles and it's easily accessible to you, you can do that as well. Again, always here key, shoulders relaxed, head relaxed. And then releasing the feet. Left foot comes down, right knee, so knees go to the left. So keeping that cross in the knees, at the knees, coming into a twist. You can always place a block, bolster, blanket, anything underneath the knees here. If the crossing is too much on your body, you can always just release the cross of the knees and bring your knees out in a normal, gentle twist. But doing your best to keep both shoulder blades resting on the ground and extending the right arm out of the right shoulder girdle. Left hand comes on the outside of the right knee. And connecting with your breath in a way like as you breathe deeper that you're getting this internal massage from the breath. When I have a persistent, sticky aches and pains in my body, that's what I like to do. When I can't get a massage or get some support in other ways, I utilize my breath as that tool. And then from here, engaging the low belly slightly as you lift the knees back up to center. Standing the legs to the sky, shaking them out. And then placing the right foot down, left ankle crosses on the right knee. Staying here in your figure four or reaching behind the right hamstrings. Letting the shoulders rest, heavy, the hips. Placing the right sole of the foot on the ground, crossing the legs on top of each other, so left on the right this time. Either reaching for the knees, the right knee, or the ankles. Whatever feels most accessible to be in a place where you can rest and ease and maybe feel a little bit of discomfort. An edge to go deeper, to go to release. And then from here, placing the right foot on the ground and taking the knees over to the right and coming into a twist. Right hand on top of the left leg. Your choice to bring up bolsters, pillows, blocks underneath the right knee. And if you're not used to it and you have them, just try it out. See how it feels to get a little bit of support. You might feel a deeper opening when you have a prop actually. And as we rest in the silence in this pose, exploring why potentially do we run away from silence, or maybe we don't even notice that we're not. Allowing it to just be present. And what can the silence teach us? Whenever you're ready, slowly bringing both knees back up to center. Placing your props to the side. And if you need a little bit of a bridge to maybe open the hips, or if there's one more posture your body would like before we come down to do our Nidra, go ahead and take that. And if you need support, maybe underneath your head, or a bolster under the knees. Maybe you want to cover yourself with a blanket. If it's available to you, I would invite you to cover the eyes. Just play around with what props you have and see how your body would like to rest right now. How can you support yourself best? You come to your Shavasana, letting the feet be wide, maybe wider than normal, opening the arms out in this expression of receiving, allowing yourself to receive the wisdom that resides in the silence. Inviting a nice, nourishing, full, deep breath here, as if you were breathing and inhaling through every pore into every cell of your body, expanding and holding that inhale, that breath at the top for a few seconds. And when you feel ready, releasing all of that out the mouth and completely melting and resting into this moment on the floor of the mat. Now as we shift into our Yoga Nidra practice, Yoga Nidra, also known as enlightened sleep, it's this place where we journey between our waking state and our dream state. So doing your best to stay slightly awake and alert in this experience of relaxing and surrendering the tensions of the mind and the body. But it's okay if you do pass over into sleep. That is okay. As we begin this practice, we begin to notice the sounds that we hear inside and outside this space that we are all in, individually and collectively. See if in this moment, in this time, you can recognize the spaces between the sounds that are happening. And noticing the physical body resting here, supported by the ground. Recognizing your full form, your entire body resting here. Feeling supported and heavy. First, bring awareness to heaviness in the body. Like there were sandbags placed on your limbs, on your belly, on your chest. But in a way that feels safe and held. Like you're sinking into the earth. You still have full connection to your full breath. Sandbag on the forehead, resting the mind, allowing the thoughts to go into the soil beneath you, the dark, still place. And then you begin to feel like these bags are lifted off the body and you feel lightness in all the limbs, like a feather floating in the wind. You are light and you're being carried along the breeze, maybe even over a beach, over the ocean, above the trees. Lightness. And heaviness. Lightness and heaviness simultaneously, feeling held and supported, but light and free. And the mind and the body infinitely. And place your awareness in the low belly, and visualizing a pond. Your belly is a pond of water, and someone has dropped a stone in the water. And you notice that when that stone hits the water, it ripples out through the entire body. And noticing those spaces between the ripples, and the stillness beneath the water. And the ripples continue to pulse out through the whole body. And stillness follows the rippling. And silence beneath the surface of this pond. Now shift your awareness to your nose, to your nostrils, and feeling the breath caressing the nose on the inside as you breathe in. And that breath moves into the brain, and then back out again. Just witnessing how the breath moves in and out of the nose. And once again, noticing the spaces between the inhales and exhales. And next, we'll begin to inhale through the left nostril. Awareness into the midbrain as you inhale, and then exhaling out the right nostril. Inhaling through the right, and exhaling out the left. Just repeating this pattern about 10 times. Back in through the right and out through the left. And then bringing that breath to completion and just resting into the natural breath, the autonomic breath that's happening all the time. And placing the awareness in the midbrain, and visualizing a golden light, a golden orb. And as you inhale and exhale, this orb just begins to make its way down and around through the brain, down the spinal cord, filling up the body, the neck, the arms, the chest, the lungs, the organs, the hips, the legs, and just briefly and gently filling the body up with golden light. Feeling that connection to this body, this form, and then connection to all things out beyond this body, the source of all existence, soul star, however you perceive that which is greater than all of us, but also that which is us. As you expand that light beyond the body, the breath begins to deepen, placing your awareness back in the body. Slowly bring movement into the fingers and toes. Allowing your system to stay in this relaxed space. And then bringing the arms up overhead, reaching the body long. Obviously, if you'd like to stay resting here for a little bit longer, please allow yourself to stay in this stillness. You're going to join me. We'll reach our bodies long. Bring the knees into the chest, giving yourself a hug on the ground. Rolling to one side or the other. And lazily, slowly crawling your way back up to a comfortable seat in Sukhasana or otherwise. And keeping the eyes and the eyelids heavy, jaws soft, mind soft. Doing the best you can to stay in this space. The silence. So as we sit here together, placing your awareness in the center of your heart, and connecting to the beating of the heart. And as you feel the beating, feeling the breath beneath the heart, and visualize that you are breathing in and out in all directions from the heart space. And then inhaling, reaching up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. 2 more times like that. Reaching up, inhale. Exhale, hands come through the center, to the head, to the lips, to the heart. 1 more time. Thumbs against the sternum, palms touch, lift the spine. If you created a personal intention for your practice, just bringing that back in full circle, letting that be your intention, your focus, your guide, your drishti. If you get off course, if you get in the activity of the mind, the busyness of your life, remembering this practice, remembering your intention to bring you back into connection with that stillness and silence, that connection to yourself, to the wisdom of your own rhythm. I'm going to close this class with one Om if you'd like to join me. We'll begin by exhaling all the air out of the lungs. And then inhaling to Om. Light in me sees and celebrates the light and the darkness and all the other stuff inside of all of you. Everything that makes you who you are. And I love you. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me this morning, this evening, you guys. And as always, if you have any questions, curiosities, feedback, let me know. And thank you for your donations for these classes. If you've donated, if you'd like to, I will leave some information in the chat. But yeah, have an awesome day. I love you all.